Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. For old business, we have nothing on the agenda. For new business, we have 315 Front Beach, Edward Aldridge, request for certificate of appropriateness to construct 2 accessory dwelling unit cottages. We have someone.
I'm here, Henry Firm, architect.
Would you like?
Yeah. I'm not. That doesn't matter, right? I mean, I'll speak out. It's not that big a room. Henry Furr, the architect for Dr. Aldridge, and as you may recall, there had been 2 existing buildings. They were old. What did they call it? Arkansas brick.
Photos of them, but they're on the screen.
Okay, yeah.
That's one, okay.
And so they've been pretty much exactly in these same 2 locations that were the new proposed cottages are going. And, basically it's a bigger and a smaller one. I think, these fit a little bit better into the scale and kind of the feel of the historic district and materials used and stuff with the building. So I'm trying to think what I need to tell you.
Location, about the location of them.
Okay, yeah. So the main building, 315, the main house is the one that you'll see from the beach. These 2 are set completely behind the house. You actually pretty much drive into the property and behind the house to get this, so that there's 2 ways in, one from Ruskin, at the end of Ruskin, and then the other way is by the driveway from the house.
So I guess I have a question for you. So the existing buildings are already gone?
Correct. Yeah, they were.
Okay, so we don't have to include that in the motion?
No, y'all approved that back at the meeting in June.
Okay, I was about to say,
right.
This looked a little familiar.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all approved it, and then the Board of Aldermen did that also, and I think I know they have been demolished already, I understand.
Okay. This is the same footprint, the same area essentially.
It's not
necessary.
right. It's not exactly the same footprint, but it's the same, and that is approximately the same locations where the 2.
We were keeping the same distance from the tree. There's a big oak tree in the middle, and we stayed in that outside of that same distance, so we didn't get any closer than that. And so they're just a little bit different shape otherwise, but it's pretty much sitting on the sitting more or less pretty much in the same spot. I brought some. We're still in process with the finished drawings, but I brought a couple of little vignettes of the cottages. Just sometimes that's helpful.
And are they about the same things that you submitted with the application?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so you're there. Did you pack it with some elevation illustrations of what they will look like in their setting?
Yeah. So I think I just printed that out and on a sheet. I think it's up there.
I guess the only other thing that I don't see is colors selected. Not that we really need to select them now. Is this something we'll do later?
Yeah, he just hadn't been able to, get to that.
So we won't include that in the motion.
That would could come later.
Any other questions?
I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness for the construction of 2 cottages within the Old Ocean Springs Historical District at 315 Front Beach Drive.
I'll second. With the stipulation that we look at colors later down the line?
Yes.
Yes, we got it at that. Mm-hmm.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Obviously, no denials there. So we're looking at
Next Tuesday, the 15th of November for the Board of Aldermen consideration of it.
All Thank you.
It'll be on the consent.
Okay, yeah, now I've got the whip on me to get the finished construction documents.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nothing will hold me up after that. Thank you. Thank you.
The next item we have is 504 Jackson Avenue. Richard McPherson requests for COA to construct a sidewalk and a fence.
Yeah, this is, you can pull up the, there you go. The location of these, well, you can't tell too much from the other information, but it's in the northwest corner of the property that's up there, was where this is be located. Yeah, right about, approximately right there. The fence has already been constructed, but it's just that's a wooden stockade type fence. And the plan is for us also for a concrete, 4-foot wide concrete sidewalk to extend out to the Jackson Avenue sidewalk to provide access to the private school. That's pretty much it. And you're Mr. McPherson.
That's pretty much it. It's just going to tie into an existing landing at the north entrance to the school, which is being used more now for younger age, 1-2 year olds, and so they need to be able to get through there without splashing through the puddles and such.
The fence has already been constructed?
It had been previously.
It's right there. That's it on the photo there.
Do we need to include it in the motion then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Any questions? Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the certificate of appropriateness for the construction of sidewalk and wood fence at 504 Jackson Avenue as described in the application.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This will be
And
Tuesday also.
Also, at the next Tuesday evening at the Board of Alderman meeting for final approval. After that, you can get your building permit. I'm after that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is 410 Martin Avenue. Michael and Rebecca Cunningham request for COA to construct a new residence and install a swimming pool.
Yeah, I just, first off, just want to mention to you that it received an email from Bethany Dressel and Bill Stein of 406 Martin Avenue about this. That's it. Amanda made copies of that for you and was passed that out to you earlier, but I guess we'd just like to make sure that that is included or accepted into the minutes.
Okay. Everybody, we'll give a chance for everyone to read that.
I'll give you
Okay.
I'll hold off a minute for just let me know when you're ready to go to discuss it.
I'm sorry?
This thing that everybody's reading.
Oh, it's a letter that was submitted for input from Bethany Dressler at 406 Martin Avenue.
Okay.
They're just reading over it because they didn't get to see it prior to the meeting. She just submitted it today.
Do you need to read it?
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, I think- Is this property, so I'm looking at the picture of the house on the left. Is Because this one was sold off. They
Uh,
divided the
It's
property up.
vacant lot.
Correct, yes.
To the south
This
of.
was,
This was all part of the same lot way back when.
right, it was subdivided, I guess, about 2-3 years ago.
I remember, and this is that really beautiful inside of the house, but it was really old.
Correct. Exactly it.
Okay,
It was 2019 when the lot split was approved.
that was a while back. Everyone get a chance to read that?
Okay.
Okay, all right, well, we're ready to go ahead and get started.
I just want to remind you, that you can see the property. It's on the east side of Martin, just north of Front Beach. And what's proposed is a 2-story dwelling with a detached garage / accessory dwelling unit and a swimming pool in the backyard. If you go to there you go, thank you. House is to be set back almost 70 feet from Martin Avenue, which is generally consistent with those in the area. They can say the ones to the, at least on this side of Martin, have a generally larger setback from the street. They also, in this case, they're proposing a circular driveway to the property. This would be the only one on this segment of Martin Avenue, but they are not out of character with the Old Ocean Springs district. And there's one on of new construction on Ruskin, 2 on Ruskin Avenue, and also one on Washington. They provide information to you on the checklist regarding the material of the building, metal roof. We've included diagrams of the exterior doors. It is the hardy trim material, and architectural details include cable railing on the second floor porch.
Okay.
That kind of, I think, goes along with the high points of it. Applicant here, if you have questions for him, or if you have anything.
Yeah, my name is Craig Smith. I'm the builders. If there are any questions that I can answer?
So again, on this one, we'll be looking at paint samples later down the line. Oh, no, they have,
They've
Or
included,
white
let's see, it's the, I think, what's the,
there is a color here.
yeah, white dove for the siding. And the windows are to be, as I understand, are to be black, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
They're a Marvin clad window. Yes, sir.
But the roof color's not been decided yet, correct?
It's silver galvan, it's a standard silver galvan.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's not us. No, that's for him to worry about. So only thing I would consider that we should put this in there because there's the issue of the cable, but I think the cable's probably going to look good. I don't understand what the issue with not being historic. Do you think it's not historic? I think for the design of the house, I think it's going to fit in very well.
I looked through the design guidelines for that, and really, the historic district design guidelines really don't address details like that for new construction. If this were a historic building, yes, that would be certainly be a situation. And I looked around in the vicinity, and there is a recently approved house on Ruskin again that does have wrought iron railings on both the porch and on the stairway. So metal is not an inconsistent material for new construction, at least.
It's going to be black, the cable? It's going to be black in color?
Probably. It will. It's usually stainless, so because here everything rusts. If it's not either aluminum or stainless, it'll be brown 2 years from now. So.
Well, I think with the silver roof, I think that'd fit perfectly in there. Okay. Well, I think we should.
Either way on what y'all feel or decide, you can still accept it into the minutes.
I think we put this in the minutes, but a lot of the stuff I don't think that applies to us.
Yeah. You just need to make a motion to accept it.
Yep.
Some of it, like the drainage questions, are for part of the building permit.
Exactly.
Not mine.
Okay.
Either that. This definitely.
Yes.
Very pretty. Well, that's what I was saying, the black windows and the black cable would work too, so for
Sure.
me, it's both aesthetically very pleasing, so.
Choices.
Yeah, it is gonna become sensitive over in that neighborhood, that we know that for a fact, so.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the COA for the construction of the single-family dwelling with accessory structures at 410 Martin Avenue as described in the application.
To include adding the email to the minutes.
That would need to be a separate version.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so again, this would be Tuesday.
Tuesday evening also, correct.
Um,
And on, typically on the consent agenda, I think you've been through there before.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
However, if you feel that it might be full for some reason, or if there might be discussion, then it would probably be a good idea to be present for that.
Sure.
meeting.
And it's 6 o'clock or whatever.
Yes, sir. 6 o'clock here in this room. Tuesday.
Thank you. It'll be a beautiful house.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I guess
Go ahead.
one of the things I have for you on this particular project, on the properties, because of the way that other house was built, the older house, is it gonna look like it's, I mean, are there property lines or anything that distinguishes the property lines? Because this one sits in the middle of the property.
Yeah,
But what's the other, I mean, because that older house, is it now in the middle of the property?
no, can you go back to the first page of the,
And I guess the question,
yeah, you can, yeah, thank you. Scroll down some, okay.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see where the house at 414, that reddish square over there,
Yeah.
it's on the southern side of it. So in this one, the new one will be, as I recall, 10 feet from the property line, which is
Correct.
which is the minimum
Minimum.
requirement.
Yes.
But I mean, that's what fits in there, and theirs is pretty much centered on their property.
Right, yes, and about 70 feet back is going to be
Close to where the
Close to
White
the
House
side.
is.
I did the
Probably
math
not
on
quite
that.
as far as back as the White House is.
Which house is
You know.
that really old one?
I mean, so,
There'll be somebody, I think both 414 and the new house on 303 Front Beach, and there at the corner, are within a few feet of each other as far as distance from Martin Avenue.
yeah. Well, I'm talking about the side property. When you're walking from the street, now you're going to have two houses really close to each other, relatively compared
You
to
are,
where that White
yes,
House
you
was
are.
before.
You are, but that means
Is
The
there
ones
room?
across the street are actually even closer.
Yeah. So is there
These
room
three lots
on the
are
other
on
side
top
of the
each other, yeah.
414? Is that another lot able to be split out, or is
No.
that, no? You can't split another lot there.
no, there's
That's
not.
just going to look a little weird then. But that's
They're
that's
gonna
not
show
an
the
issue
size
here.
of
I mean,
Well, and as you see, as with the proximity that this has to the water, we're gonna see all kinds of moves to see density go. I mean,
Yeah, that's
when's the
true.
last time you were in San Diego?
Yeah. So I think that's going to be a beautiful house there. Okay. Next item on the agenda, approval of minutes. Oh, wait.
We have to add this email in, don't we?
Yes.
I was going to say, where do you want to, you want to talk about the email from?
Yeah, just add it to the minutes and
Yeah, I think we can,
Do we need a motion for this?
If you want to accept
Yeah,
that
let's-
into the minutes, you have to have a motion, yes.
Okay, I will make a motion then that we have this read into the minutes of the meeting today, and the letter from Beth Ann Dressel is evidence as such.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
okay. Back to the minutes.
make a motion, we accept the minutes as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye. All right, minutes are approved. I guess we need to have announcement of the elections.
Yes, so Carlos was read in that you were voted in chairman last meeting, but there was a tie vote for vice chair. So the runoff resulted in Matthew Pavlov will be the vice chair and Charlene Romer will be the secretary. And then for the sign committee, we just need 3 people. It's an email poll. It's not anything to do with any meetings. Just we need to be able to email you just for sign applications only.
It's what, maybe 2 or 3 a year at the most.
Maybe
It's-
2 or
it's,
3.
What exactly is that? Because I've never.
Just if there's a property in the historic historic districts that like commercial businesses or museums that need to install a sign,
Okay.
they don't have to go through the full COA process. It would just be an email poll
To us to see if we.
just those 3 members,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, I'll
if it's
do it.
approved, it'll. Yeah. All right, so I have Mike Doster, I have Karen Tuning, and
And I believe I'm already there, right? So, yes.
Michael Burns. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
One other, did you email them the letter from Julian Rankin?
No, I did not, but I will
Okay.
pull it up.
Okay. And this is something that just came up, a little bit of an unusual situation, talking about signs. Received a letter from Julian Rankin, the director of the Walter Anderson Museum. What they're wanting to do is to install a wall sign on the museum. And they already have the ground sign on the Washington Avenue side. So under the historic district regulations, sign regulations, museums are permitted one sign only, 18 square feet area. So from that standpoint, administratively, we can't approve an additional sign. But there is a provision within the sign regulations that allows you, the Historic Commission, to recommend to the Zoning Adjustment Board.
Where do they
This
want
is a little
to place it?
convoluted.
Where do they want to put it?
They want
I will
to pull it up on the larger wall.
So they recently put a freestanding sign that y'all approved on the ground here, and they're wanting to add the wall signage on the wall as well, just stating the building's name.
So
I
the-
personally have no problem with that. I think they make a big contribution to this town.
The way that we'll have to work will be that you, as the Historic Commission, make a recommendation to the Zoning Adjustment Board. You can recommend an exception to those requirements where it can be shown that the proposed sign is consistent with the purpose and intent of the historic district and is historically authentic. So,
So basically, if you want to request that the zoning board review this as the exception, you would just make a motion with a second and a vote to recommend to the zoning and adjustments board what Mr. Morgan just said, to allow the exception.
Are we gonna be opening up Pandora's box with something like this?
I wouldn't
That's-
think so.
What's the other
this is for
museum? The Mary C., but that's not really a museum.
The regulation, it's just because it's a museum in the historic district, which I don't think there are, Wade, correct me if I'm wrong, any other museums in a historic district.
no, this is it.
Other businesses, they have their own, normally commercial businesses, even if they're in the historic district, are allowed a wall and a freestanding sign.
Oh, okay.
It's only because it's specifically a museum.
I was about to say, this actually looks pretty good, and it looks very historic. I mean, what you would see in an
Right,
old
I
town.
mean, and
Yeah,
there
it
are
needs to
different
be,
approaches to the museum too, so you got out-of-towners, you want to draw
Yeah,
them in.
anything is, and also he points out in his letter that the idea is to distinguish the museum from the creative complex across the street, so you can, give some identification to which is which makes sense. Also seeing that one of the Restore Act fundings was for the creative complex. They got several $1 million for their work there.
I hadn't seen that until Peter Anderson. I used to work at that museum. I was director of marketing sales. I'm like, wow, That
So
old
you're-
cottage was scary. Like, we had to go in there, I'm like, you're going in, I'm not going in. There were animals up in the attic.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're full of raccoons.
It's
So
like-
your options, choices are, you can either recommend this to the zoning adjustment board, or recommend that they consider it as an exception. You can recommend that they don't. You can say, no, we don't want to. Or you can defer it. If you want more time to think about it, you can certainly defer it to the next meeting. Those are your,
So is that for this committee or the sign committee?
that would be for the full HPC, for all of you.
Well, I will make a motion then that we, as the Historic Preservation Committee, make a recommendation to the Zoning Adjustment Board to consider the additional signage at the Walter Anderson Museum of Art.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I just also want to add, if you, as individual members or as a group, want to have some comments about the sign submitted to the zoning board, feel free to do that. It will be going to them at their December meeting, which is the second Tuesday of December. That's the 13th. Thank you. So if there's input you'd like to have for them to consider, please give it to us, email it to Amanda, and we'll make sure that they do get it.
Last thing before you guys adjourn. Carolyn Martin, the Planning and Grants Administrator, has had an alderman reach out to them about attendance. We have several people on the commission that, and we understand you can't do perfect attendance, absences, we understand that, but it's a consistent thing where we only have 3 or 4 members out of 7 that come to meetings.
We have
So-
7.
Funny, I thought we only had 4
Yeah.
people.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh, that's cool.
So you folks are the dedicated ones. We depend
I mean,
on
and I don't always make it either. I'm sorry about that.
so just to let you guys know that it has been brought to the attention of them, so that information is being discussed. And if you have any issues with it being the second Thursday, or if there's any issues,
Or the time of it, for that matter.
yeah, or the
Yeah.
time or anything like that, please give us your feedback by any means. But just to let you guys know that it's been brought up.
I appreciate the phone calls.
Yeah. Listen, she made a call a couple months ago to me, and I said, "Yeah, I'll be there." And I'm like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? I'm in real estate. Things spin, and you chase it.
Mhm.
And then all that, like 11 o'clock that night, I went, "Oh!" And I even told her I was going to be here. That was
Anything else?
not my finest moment.
Not for me. Wade, do you have anything?
No, that's it. Do we have anything for next month?
We do.
We do. That's what I thought. Okay, so yes, that.
It'll be the third Tuesday,
What
because the first Tuesday falls before the first board meeting.
So, okay, tell me what date that is so I can.
Thursday, December 15th at 6 o'clock.
I can tell you right now, I probably will not be able to make it.
Okay, well, I'm glad to know
More
that.
than likely
Okay,
will be
good.
at sea
Let's see.
on trials from the ships.
So is that fun, or is that kind of like just grueling?
If everything was built well, yeah, it would be a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah.
This is what,
There's always that.
besides the QA issues that I'm always facing, it's the issue, this is a brand new radar, brand new generator plant, not completely brand new engineering plant, but we have a lot of problems right now.
Okay, interesting.
12:15, you said, right?
Good luck with it.
Well, and there's a good chance we won't be able to go.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
How about I call you?
Please, call me.
Okay,
One last motion.
adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second?
Got it?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
I guess that's all in favor, aye. Okay.
Aye, there you
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, guys.
All I know is I read the thing about the water.